Israel's ally, the United States, is also feeling uneasy. America's Treasury Secretary is worried. Her name is Janet Yellen. She's troubled by the situation in West Asia. She believes a surge in violence could impact the global economy. Listen to this.
From this weekend's attacks to the Houthi attacks in the Red Sea, Iran's actions threaten the region's stability and could cause economic spillovers.
Look at the choice of words. Iran's actions threaten the region's stability. What about Israel's airstrike in Syria? Conveniently, Yellen made no mention of it. She paints Iran and its proxies as the problem, but overlooks the Israeli strike that set off the latest tensions. But that's American politics for you. Irrespective of who they blame, they're right when they say that this will have economic spillovers. Economists at the IMF are also nervous. That's the International Monetary Fund, IMF. They're concerned about the fluctuation in oil prices.
What has been happening with the tensions in the Middle East is there's been some increase in oil prices, but it's too early to say whether that will be sustained.
In the event of a wider war in West Asia, the conflict's biggest casualty will be the oil supplies from the region. They are crucial, in fact, for the global economy, and the IMF is highlighting the risks here. A shortage of oil may make inflation worse and economies weaker. Countries like South Korea are preparing for the worst-case scenario. Their president, Yoon Suk Yeol, says he wants to mitigate the fallout of a wider conflict.
Our country's dependence on crude oil from Middle East is 72%. This will directly lead to significant increases in transport costs and international oil price and will cause even greater pain to the people.
And Seoul is not alone. Countries like India also rely on oil imports. India imports 85% of the oil it uses. Almost half of it comes from West Asia. It travels via the Strait of Hormuz. All major oil importers want this strait to remain open. Let me show you what I'm talking about, which region. The Strait of Hormuz lies between Iran and Oman. It is essential for the world's oil supplies. Over 17 million barrels of oil move through here every day. 17 million barrels every day. That's 1/6 of the world's oil. It travels through this waterway. It's a narrow passage. It looks like an inverted V. Now, the Strait of Hormuz connects the Persian Gulf to the Indian Ocean. If Israel goes to war with Iran, this route could be compromised. At least 4 major oil producers will be impacted. That's Saudi Arabia, Iran, the UAE and Kuwait. Most of their oil travels through this strait. And these 4 countries are also among the world's biggest suppliers. If they are unable to access the Strait of Hormuz, if their exports are restricted, there would be chaos in the oil market. The world's energy supply could be choked.
The one that we describe in detail in our report is one where you would have fairly significant disruptions in oil markets that would lead to a 15% increase in oil prices and also increase in shipping costs.
So that would be the first fallout. The second fallout will be seen in the global stock market. What do most investors dread? Uncertainty. They're always looking to avoid sudden shocks, events which could shrink their portfolios. So conflict could trigger a sell-off in the global stock markets, with investors pulling their money and picking safer options. In fact, this could already be happening. In the past week, investors have sold over $15 billion worth of American stocks. These were shares of the biggest US companies, commonly known as large cap stocks. A West Asian conflict could make global markets more volatile, so those are the 2 big risks: depleted oil supplies and disruption in the stock markets. And the Indian economy is vulnerable on both these fronts. A disruption in the global oil market would mean a disruption in Indian supplies and a jump in prices. What about the stock markets? A conflict could impact key industries like automobiles, transport, aviation, paints, tires, cement, chemicals. All these sectors could take a hit. Since 2020, our world has endured 3 big shocks: the Wuhan virus pandemic and 2 major wars, Ukraine and Gaza. The last thing we need is another setback. But if Israel refuses to reverse course, it may be inevitable.